lady that joined us there in Bateman Pier. Our next stop, folks, should be Butler's Wharf or Tower Bridge. I'll carry on with the commentary of way down river. Pointing out the bridges and the buildings along the way, so hopefully we'll make the trip a little bit more enjoyable. Now on the left hand side, the oldest landmark you'll see in London today. On the river's wall, the large stone obelisk, Cleopatra's Needle. That was given to us by a very grateful Egyptian government for Nelson's victory over Napoleon at the Battle of the Nile. That stone needle is over 3,500 years old. It is older than London itself. One of those that needle stands in Central Park, New York City. Now this might interest the ladies on board. The bridge in front of us, Waterloo Bridge. Known in London as the Ladies' Bridge. It was built during the Second World War, and that was by female labour. You see, all the men, they were away fighting for their country. The ladies of London were left at home, and they constructed this bridge. The ladies even faced the bridge in a self-collecting problem that's stone. So every time it rains in London, which is about 3 times a day, the face of the bridge receives a thorough wash. And ladies, you will be pleased to know that it was the only bridge to span the river that was finished on time and under budget. What an excellent job the ladies done. So well done to the girls. On our way down river this morning, we're going against the incoming flood tide. Now the water level is now rising, flooding in from the North Sea 30 miles in front of us. The tide comes into London for 5 hours. We then reach high water and the tide will turn. It will then leave London for 7 hours. We have a rise and fall of just over 7 metres twice a day. So a very powerful rise and fall of tide. There's a ship on the left, the white ship, that's the Wellington. She was a part of the New Zealand Navy. Saw action throughout World War II. Look behind the ship and you'll see a stone archway amongst the trees. That's Temple Arch, an official boundary line between 2 cities. The city of Westminster we are now leaving behind us, and we are entering into the 1 square mile city of London. Well, this might surprise some of you. On the right, in the middle of London, beaches in the world. Now I'm not too sure where everyone's from today. I can see a kid at the moment playing down there, playing with bits of broken glass and rusty nails. A nice family day out at the beach, folks. I would highly recommend it. All free of charge, of course. Above the bridge to the left, a lovely view there of the large boat and golden cross, St Paul's Cathedral, designed by Sir Christopher Wren. That took Wren 35 years to complete, completed in 1710. Stands at 365 feet tall, a foot for every day of the year. Directly on our left hand side, the white building with a green sloping roof. That's the old City of London School for Boys. It was here where Sir Winston Churchill attended before he went on to higher education. Today this building is owned by J.P. Morgan. So in front of the boat we're about to go under a group of bridges. The first one, the Blackfriars Road Bridge. This bridge was opened by Queen Victoria in 1869. It's then followed by the Blackfriars Railway Bridge, but in between the two bridges, left and right of us shortly, you'll see 8 red support columns, and this is what remains of the old St Paul's Railway Bridge. The modern trains, they become too heavy, and the bridge became unsafe. So the top section, as you can see, was lifted off. The support columns, they were left, fear of them disturbing the foundations of the other 2 bridges. And these bridges, they do mark the halfway point between Westminster and Tower Bridge. So I hope everyone's enjoying the commentary so far. How's it going, okay? Yeah. Woo! Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for listening to me. Hopefully everyone can understand me, okay? I know we have lots of people on board today from overseas. They may be English isn't your first language, so thank you for your patience. I do try and speak slowly and clearly, and hopefully you all understand. On the left, the red brick building, that's the new city of London, the school for boys. The most famous person I can think of that went to that school is probably Daniel Radcliffe. Do you have any Harry Potter fans on the boat? The bridge in front of us, the Millennium Footbridge. This was used in a Harry Potter movie. I think it was Half-Blood Prince. If you remember at the beginning, the Death Eaters, they fly around the bridge and the bridge collapses into the River Thames. As you can see, it's back up now. And very high. Follow the bridge through the buildings on the left, the full side-on view of St Paul's Cathedral. Now, ladies and gents, it's been very quiet this morning, so I didn't think we'll be making this stop, but it looks like we've actually got people for us here on the right. Instead, that white circular building with the thatched roof, that's the replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. So I'll speak a bit more about that. So just bear with us again, folks, just for a minute, and I'll be back with you very shortly. But thank you very much for listening, and I hope everyone's enjoying the commentary so far. Thank you.
How's your mum got there?
Can you call Tyler and tell him to let me have the TV? I took a picture of that boat up there, sent it to Anya, and I was like, they have river boats in London. She replied, that's crazy.
There's a Horrible Histories River tour, but there's a Horrible Histories tour.
Oh yeah?
No, we're just stopped.
Oh, they're actually doing like an actress on there as well. It is, they're winding.
We can do that next time we're here.
Our next stop will be Butler's Wharf for Tower Bridge. We'll be there in just under 10 minutes time. So I will carry on with the commentary. That's a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. On summer nights you can go over there, watch all of Shakespeare's greatest plays, all being performed as they would have been done in the Elizabethan era. So they don't use any stage lighting or microphones. That is also the oldest Ashworth building in London since the Great Fire in 1666. The last time we looked, a ticket in the standing area is going for £5 each. I think £5 is very reasonable to watch an old Shakespearean play. Suffolk Bridge in front of us. This is the least used bridge to span the River Thames. The approach roads are so well hidden, not many people can find this bridge to look at. They do say if you see someone crossing over this bridge to give them a wave, as that man up on our left, he's most certainly lost. I'm not sure where he's going. Now through the bridge and on the right, a very nice riverside park. It's got red windows. Just on the right hand side, a nice pub there, the Anchor. It's over 400 years old, dates back to 1615. Shakespeare, he used to hire the attic of the pub as a dressing room for his actors before they performed at the old Globe. The original Globe, it was just behind that pub in Park Street. It's a very nice riverside pub, that one. Nice beer garden outside looking over the river. Good atmosphere of an evening, and we have a singer outside on the night time. It's the Anchor Tower Bridge. Everyone on board today is visiting the very popular Borough Market. The Borough Market is just behind the buildings on our right hand side. A very popular place to be. Looking between the gap in the buildings to our right, in between the buildings there we have a very old pirate ship. Now, has everyone seen the film Pirates of the Caribbean? Yes? Well, that's got nothing to do with it. No, folks, it is a pirate ship. It's a replica of Sir Francis Drake's ship, the Golden Hind. Drake was the first Englishman to sail a ship around the world. That's when he worked in replica. You can hear the bells from the Suffolk Cathedral there on our right hand side behind the tree. It's been a place of worship since the 12th century. It was inside that cathedral where John Harvard was baptised. So we're about to go under the world famous London Bridge. If you have your cameras with you folks, on the left, a nice picture the name engraved into the stonework. Make the right picture directly on the left hand. And this is the 5th London bridge that stands here. The first one was built by the Romans over 2,000 years ago. That one was pulled down by Vikings. If you look up to your right, dominating London's skyline, the Shire, the tallest office block in Western Europe, that stands at 1,016 feet tall. Home to London's highest viewing platform. It's on the 72nd floor. So you get great views of London from up there. But it comes at a price. You go up there, I think that's about £50,000. I think that's very expensive. I would recommend you going on the other side of the river, on our left, the tall glass building, to get wider as it goes up. Now, it's actually closed at this time of day, but later on it'll be open. If you look up there later on, if you're on the boats later, look to the top and you'll see people standing up there. That's also a viewing platform, and that's called the Sky Garden. It's over 100 feet higher than the London Eye, and the best thing about it, it's completely free to go up there. Won't cost you nothing. Bar and restaurant at the top as well. Folks, if you are on the top deck today, if I could kindly ask, take a photo by all means, but once you have took your photo, do try and take to your seats afterwards. Just let some see everyone as well. He's at the back. Also, people sitting behind you as well. If you are on the top deck, please do take to your seats. Much appreciated. And again, if you can't understand me, just keep doing what you're doing. On the right hand side of the river, the warship, the HMS Belfast. Built in Belfast in the same shipyard as the Titanic, the Harland and Wolff shipyard. Saw action throughout World War II from the beaches of Normandy and the Greenwich, a museum in London. The glass building to the right, the round glass building, is the City Hall. That's where the Mayor of London has his offices. The Mayor of London today is a man called Sadiq Khan. And that's his offices to the right. Where that man really should be is on the left-hand side, in the Tower of London. And the Tower of London, folks, that's been a lot of different things in its time. Most famously known for its imprisonment, torture and execution. If you haven't been to the tower, folks, I would highly recommend going to visit. Lots of gruesome history behind the walls of that building, and it's now home to the Crown Jewels. The oldest part of the tower is the White Tower, the one in the middle. Dates back to 1078, built during the reign of William the Conqueror. So we're about to go under Tower Bridge. The gates lead to London. And I'm sure you're aware that the centre bastions of the bridge, the road level, they lift up, they open to allow bigger ships into this part of the river. Look up above you as you go under the bridge. You can walk across the top two catwalks. They have recently been fitted with glass flooring. So if you look up above you, you can see people standing on the glass above you. Now try not to look too carefully. You'll be very surprised what you can see from down here sometimes. So through Tower Bridge we now enter into the Docklands part of London, and this is where shipping
some of the car racing at the arena area.
So ladies and gents, now away from Butler's Wharf, our next stop to Greenwich. You'll be there in about 25 to 30 minutes time. Folks, if I could ask just for a show of hands, if anyone would boat used to come to London with their cargo, the cargo stored in the docks in the warehouses and that. Where we just was, back on our right, Butler's Walk, that was a tea warehouse years ago. The Cutty Sark used to go alongside those buildings, unloading tea buildings. Today, they are luxury apartments, and as you can imagine, they are very expensive. To give you an idea of the price of property in this part of the river, a 2-bedroom apartment in Butler's Walk, that would cost a minimum of £3.5 million. Something very expensive in this part of the river. Look to the right hand side, a creekway going through the building. St Saviour's Dock in Bermondsey. For anyone on board who's seen the beautiful film Oliver Twist, in this creekway where Fagin drops the jewels in the mud at the end of the film, and also where Bill Sykes fell to his death. And that's all exactly the same as Dickens' Times, all filmed on location. So I mentioned earlier the water level in London is rising. When it is low water, the creekway dries out just as it was in the film. With the price of property being so expensive, what a lot of people are doing today, left and right of the boat, we have these old Dutch and Thames sailing barges, which people have converted into their floating boats. A much cheaper alternative than buying property here in London. The singer and actress Cher. Up until recently, the penthouse suite was Dame Helen Mirren. When Cher lived in that building, she wrote letters to our company. She complained about us telling you where she lived. So eventually she got so fed up that she decided to move further down the river. And I will point it out when we go. To the left of Oliver's Walk is a very famous pub we have on the Thames called the Town of Ramsgate. That used to be an Admiralty port where convicted pirates and smugglers were judged. If you were found guilty of piracy, you'd have been given your last tot of rum in the town of Ramsgate. You'd have been walked down rocking stairs to the left of Oliver's Wharf, and on a low water, walked along the foreshore. You see the 3 red balconies coming up with the letter E on top. The letter E stands for execution dock. It was here where the pirates were chained to the riverbed. The pirates were allowed 3 times to pass over their body. This form of execution was called the Grace of Robbing. I actually looked online the other day as it goes, and it said that there were over 300 pirates put to their death here at execution. As we go round the bend on the left hand side, we have the blue piers, that's the Thames Police Force. They are the oldest uniformed police force in the world. They are older than the more famous Bow Street Runners. They would have combated piracy, thieving and smuggling, which was rife on the Thames years ago. It was at one stage over 30% of cargo in London. It was being stolen, and that's why they formed the Thames River Police just over 250 years ago. Just behind the police pier on the left, another riverside pub. So that's what we'll be seeing a lot of in the Docklands part of London. Lots of old, very nice riverside pubs. This one on the left is called the Captain Kidd. many Americans on the boat with us still today, yeah? There'll be some interest, I quite like. There'll be some interest on the right hand side. Past the building with a scaffolding around it. Just in front of us, sort of on the right, you'll see the American and British flag flying outside of a small white pub tucked away called the Mayflower. And it's named after Mayflower, ship that set sail from Rotherhithe here on our right. So from here it sailed around to Plymouth, where it picked up the Pilgrim Fathers, and it then went in search for the New World we know today as America. Inside that pub on the wall there's a list of names, and they're the names of the Rotherhithe men that went in search for the New World. The captain and part owner of the Mayflower, a man called Christopher Jones, he's buried in the church just behind the pub. That's St Mary, a very important part of American history. So that is South London on the right of us. On the left, the East End of London. Buildings on the left like New Thames and Metropolitan Wall. A fine example of what the river used to look like years ago. Now, it was rows of these warehouses lining the banks of the Thames, filled with valuable cargo. When the shipping come to an end in this part of the river, a lot of the old wharves and warehouses were laid derelict for many years. Most of them were knocked down. All the ones around us today are luxury apartments. Look on top of the building to the left, you'll see the word wolf. You'll see a lot of this word on the river. The word wolf, that stands for warehouse at river front. That's what a wolf is, a warehouse at riverfront. There's another pub on our left hand side. Don't get a rough idea about me, keep pointing out all these pubs along the way. And that one there, that's the Prospect of Whitby. The oldest pub on the banks of the river. It dates back to 1520. It was opened during the reign of King Henry VIII. And the Prospect of Whitby, the oldest pub on the banks of the tidal Thames. So folks, being the captain, we have to try our best to visit all of these riverside pubs after work. And that's for doing research for these commentaries. No better place to do it. On the right, another very large warehouse. It's showing it has the scaffolding around it at the moment. It's got a red crane on the front as well, and this is Globe Wharf. This used to be the biggest rice mill in the south of England. Now I don't know if you have noticed already, but the old buildings on the river are built to the river's wall. They're designed that way so tugs and barges could lay alongside at high water and unload their cargo straight into the building. Any new building that's been put up over the last 30 years or so has to have a footpath put in front of it, you see. An easy way of telling the older buildings. A two-bedroom apartment in Globe Wharf would cost you just under £1 million. You see, the price of property, it drops the further down the river we go. I live about another 100 miles further down the river in the slums of the UK. Over on the left, a little entrance in the river. It's got a black bridge over the top. On the bridge it says Limehouse Marina. If you had a canal boat today, went through that entrance to make your way onto the Grand Union Canals. You can make your way up to this country, most northern cities, into places like Liverpool, Manchester or Birmingham through that small lock entrance. This part of the East End on the left is called Limehouse. The terrace of houses, that's Narrow Street. You'll see a house on our left just coming up. It's got a yellow statue of a man in the garden, and behind it is a pink wall. Now that is home to Sir Ian McKellen, who some of you may know better as Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. That's his house. He also owns the pub a few doors back called the Grapes. It's got the gold lettering and the 3 wooden balconies. Just a few doors back. Actually, Charles Dickens, he lived in the attic of that pub when he wrote his book, Our Mutual Friend.
Looks like he's at there as well. There's a window door open on the balcony.
And in front of the boat we have the Canary Wharf development, the financial district here in London. It was recently granted planning permission to build another 15 high-rise buildings in this area. A lot of people, they've mistaken Canary Wharf though for the building with the pyramid top with the light that flashes. Now that building's actual name is 1 Canada Square. It was the tallest building in London for a long time. Stands at 850 feet tall. But that has now been taken over, of course, by the Shard and some of the new office blocks in the city. Canary Wharf, that's the name of the land in which all that's built on. This was where ships from the Canary Islands were once dropping off their cargo, and it was mainly fruits in the docks on our left-hand side. And today Canary Wharf's a very well maintained and clean part of London. Lots of nice bars and restaurants over there. Worth a visit if you've got a spare few hours. Preferably on the weekend though. Of course, throughout the week, Monday to Thursday, very busy at Canary Wharf. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, much quieter. So worth going on the weekend. So ladies and gents, we're about 10 minutes from Greenwich. It's around the beach in front of us. If you look either side of us at the moment, to be honest, I've run out of things to talk about. All it really is left and right of us at the moment is what we like to call unaffordable housing. So what we like to do, folks, is just leave you in a bit of peace and quiet. Now we'll switch off for about 5 minutes or so, give your ears a rest. I've been speaking for a while. When Greenwich comes into view, I'll put all of the places of interest down at Greenwich, and I'll also give you the returning boat times today. In the meantime, the bar is open downstairs, the toilets are at the back.
That's fine. We can have a look
Thanks a lot for
around.
listening to me.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed the commentary. you
without
so
the centre of
far.
London.
I'll speak to you again when Greenwich comes into view. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've seen that building, the HSBC building on telly. It's in films and TV programs. Nice. Make sure you tag them. The GoPro's actually behaving itself today. It's not too hot though, that's not what one of those fast boats. You can tell.
What?
See the sticky out bits? If that was a proper warehouse, that would be where the rope cranes would be for lifting the barrels and that into the top of the warehouse. An old mill on the road between the Oval and Kruger, and that has the same kind of thing. It's got an overhang over the road. I would. Look at that. I'm quite happy on my sedate little ferry. Should go down to the toilet. Or got off?
No, I think they went up the front.
Fair enough. So if say the return boat is an hour, each hour's time from when we dock, if we look at getting that boat back, yeah?
Yeah, I'm not staying too long.
No. Look at that.
The first boat back is, we'll stay. I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah. I haven't dropped it yet.
the three tall masts of the Cutty Sark, the old T-Clipper, that holds many records from crossings from China and back to Europe. The vessel used to reach speeds of up to 17 knots. To give you a rough idea of how quick that is, at the moment we're doing 7 knots. Very impressive on a ship that size and purely undersailed. You've also got the two large white buildings in front of us with the two domes on top, the old Greenwich Naval Colleges. That's where the Navy was trained years ago. Today, that is Greenwich University. And Greenwich really is a lovely part of London. It's worth getting off here, having a walk around. Lots of nice indoor and outdoor markets, bars, restaurants, plenty to see and do. Returning boats today, so we are the next boat going back upriver. But we recommend you leave us here at Greenwich, have a walk around, and you can easily spend the rest of the day here at Greenwich. Returning boats are every 30 minutes. And boats leave 10 past and 22 that hour. The last boat will leave Greenwich 10 past 6. 10 past 6 is the last boat leaving Greenwich today. Now folks, what a lot of people come to Greenwich to see. Coming into view shortly, look to the right of the Cutty Sark. At the top of the hill, you'll see a red castle-like building, and that is the Greenwich Royal Observatory. Coming into view, it was there earlier, there, at the top of the hill. Now you see the T-bar with the red ball at the bottom. At 5 to 1 every day, the red ball climbs the mast. At exactly 1 o'clock the ball drops, and that's when Greenwich Mean Time is set. It's up there where east meets west, and where time is set throughout the world. I would highly recommend the walk up there for the views of London alone. About a 15 to 20 minute walk to get up there.